as I mentioned, that we are first one who is exploring the space science on terms of blockchain asset management and etc. So these are the revolutionary things which we will be discussing today in our AMA.
That's really awesome. Thank you so much for giving us the lined up roadmap, like what we will discuss today. Really excited for this, and I can't wait, like how all this can unpack. So without further ado, let's dive right into it, Mr. Dhanraj. So first, let the foundation for our audience. Hold on. Yeah, okay. So, could you please introduce to our audience about like what exactly the Orbit Edge is all about, and share the vision behind like creating the modular blockchain tailored for DeFi, Web3, and the virtual worlds?
Perfect. So basically, ARBITRAGE is an adaptive layer 1 protocol which is specifically engineered with modularity at its core consensus mechanism, where currently the blockchain does not fit all blockchain into one blockchain, correct? Where each blockchain has its own consensus mechanism. Here in OrbitEdge, we are covering the whole world and beyond the space as well. So we are trying to make it as in one size fits all kind of blockchain model that creates not only the trade-off between scalability, decentralization, spatialization, it also breaks the bottleneck of separating the consensus, execution, settlement, and data availability into distinct yet interoperable modules, where the innovative concept of this blockchain particularly is hold under the nodes which have to be or which will be deployed on Earth orbit. Initially, we will target the low Earth orbit and then medium, and then we'll go to geostationary, geocentric. But the network operability is also will be on a innovative technology is double linked list, buffer double linked list. Currently, the set to set communication use beam hopping technology, where the data from one satellite to another satellite first get downlinked, then from one station to one internet service ISP station to another ISP station, and then it goes to like again uplink. Starlink itself is doing the same way. And that's how, even though the satellite phone calls are so much costly than compared to normal phone calls, what if we provide this solution in our node that they can communicate using buffer double linked list and can transmit the data between two satellites, right? That reduce the that is the complete satellite communication network or inter satellite communication itself. So this is one of a benefit. And as we mentioned about DeFi and Web3, it also basically ensure that operability, interoperability, like Binance, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., will also fit into this network, right? Additionally, apart from the hosting nodes into the space, the resilience network is reducing the vulnerability and terrestrial threats such as natural disasters, cyber attack, localized outage, all this, like definitely, because space station we have already the energy ecosystem built on solar system itself. I mean the solar energy itself, right? So this approach is not only strengthen the reliability on blockchain system, but also it is a way of future advancement like interplanetary communication, as I mentioned or explained, global digital ecosystem, that basically position OrbitEdge into uh, uh, next or at a leader position in the blockchain innovation.
All right, that's really amazing to hear. Thank you so much for that inspiring introduction. And actually, it's always exciting to hear like how a vision is born. And clearly, I'm like your project is not just another blockchain project, but like something that designed with a purpose and scalability in mind. So good to hear that. Other than this, Mr. Dhanraj, you guys are like described that the Orbit Edge as the launchpad for the autonomous economy. So, with that note, like, could you explain what that mean in simple term for our new users?
Okay, so let's say uh, there are different or multiple use cases which we have identified, right? In not only in economical manner, definitely there are a lot of economical or financial benefit in terms of DeFi solutions, but mainly the practical applications of chain is basically the transaction management, right? The current bottleneck for DeFi system is to overcome with the number of transactions to be processed or required to be processed for fitting into a banking system. Let's say Visa and MasterCard can process millions of transactions, right? But those we have not seen, even though the fastest blockchain, which I have also built, only can process 200,000 transactions per second. But we require more than 2 million transactions per second. So the OrbitEdge consensus is designed in such manner that will basically uh, allow other blockchain also to be integrated with and improve the efficiency of transaction processing, and it also value the moves from effortlessly as information sharing, like just sharing the question and then you get the answer as a response. We are also adding an AI portfolio manager which basically manage the asset into real time, because the RWA, which is the upcoming what you can say business use case, specifically when the CBDC is coming. Banks have already started creating their own tokenization system, like Citibank, or recently the America has already started that. Bank of America will have their own tokens, right? Those things should have a platform where all other blockchain can also integrate it to strengthen the you know so they basically need a launch pad where they can launch all those, like one build on you know uh, Ethereum, one build on Bitcoin, one build on Solana, Tron, Polygon, etc. We need that launch pad where it can integrate. Also it support the futuristic upcoming requirement, right? Let's say we talk about AI, right? So there are a lot of AI modules which have been like AI bots for trading cryptocurrencies or trading bots, right? Also metaverse marketplaces, right? All those needs to be there. One of another thing for having a launch for which is required for any launchpad is fractionalization, right? Those fractionalization has to be supported by the chain itself at a native level rather than a layer 2, because again there would be a higher number of transactions and processing, which will again impact the energy. So we have thought thorough from top to bottom and below level as well. Each and every step is designed in such a manner that we will not face any bottleneck in future as well. This is basically a launchpad because it provides the rails of this all autonomous interaction with high throughput, programmable compliances, cross-chain liquidity, AI-driven intelligence, all are baked into one infrastructure. And that's how why I said, like, or also we can say in simple term, it is where people and autonomous system transact freely, securely, and without any middleman.
Wow. That's really awesome. Thank you so much for me, cause I'm like much clear about this particular concept, and like I love how you broke it down so clearly. I'm like instead of could see complex jargon, it's really like paint a picture like how OrbitEdge empower people to participate in like new kind of economy. So that's wonderful. And those who are listening us right now, I would recommend you to do check it out their white paper or their website as well. You will find out I'm like more detail I'm like a detail over there, so please do check it out from there. Other than this, Mr. Dhanraj, how does orbit chain parallel blockchain execution and could say modular could say sharing make it different from other layer one solutions?
Wow, very good question, basically. And that is what I was talking about, the bottleneck of transaction processing in my last answer. That I would like to explore more on that question itself, but because of each question's timeline, I haven't answered it clearly. And uh, now I got the chance to explain that. Currently, any blockchain, if we take an example, it is known as blockchain because it has a sequential execution. One block, another are added, and once the previous block is finalized, the transaction cannot move to the next block. That's a bottleneck, right? I'm holding all the crowd. Let's say, you know, we have a train, right? We have a rail or train where 100 or 500 people are on a platform and they want to go in, but there is only one door for the whole train, right? So the bottleneck would be, unless and until all these people will, get settled into from top to, the first compartment of a rail to the train to last compartment, train cannot move, right? That's a sequence, the problem of sequential execution. We implement the parallel execution, which allow, like, each compartment has its own door, right? It reduced the transaction processing time. Also, we have added, apart from parallel execution, modular sharding. Shards are not like cloning the or of a base chain or domain specific execution. Imagine, like, it is tuned for low latency DeFi swaps from one chain to another chain if you want to do that. Or metaverse asset streaming, like we are doing a live streaming of HD quality video on metaverse. Or another way, like compliance heavy infrastructure, institutional finance, right? That requires a heavy infrastructure, all under the same consensus umbrella. That is where we are saying that it is modular, shared, and most efficient or uh, faster transaction processing platform. That gives, or that basically, um, you know keep us out of the crowd by horizontal scalability and vertical scalability at the same time in a block execution, which has not been available in any of the blockchain so far. So that would be the world's first implementation in this Orbit Edge blockchain.
Yeah, got it. That's really impressive because like scalability without like sacrificing the performance, it's clear that the platform is solving problem that the blockchain are still like struggling with, to be very honest. Okay, besides that, talking about the Orbit wallet, Mr. Dhanraj, can you explain in more detail like how Orbit wallet transforms into like a more than just a wallet, it acting as a like a main interface for users?
Perfect. So let's think of a wallet, or uh, think of a father or mother, right? If you have any problem, or if you have any situation where you are not able to solve that problem, what you do, you go to your parents and ask that, okay, how can I solve this problem? Or you go to your teacher, right, for asking the question that you, okay, I have stuck here. There's no father or mother kind of solution which is available in blockchain industry. Each one has defined their own wallet, they have defined their own dapps, they have defined their own, layer 2 system or protocol where it solves a specific problem. I understand that the specialization is very much required, but too much of a specialization will take users simple process where I just need to do a transaction from one person to another. I don't need to go to, bank, then check the balance, and then, you know it should, if I'm doing a transfer, it should automatically check. So ease of process has been implemented rather than traditional or early 80s banking system to now. That's what we are bringing on OrbitEdge, right? It not only solve the DeFi problem, it also, and as I mentioned in my first questions answer or before introduction, that we are going beyond the earth, where we need. So let's say if you, okay, being a space science researcher, if you are building a spacecraft that requires each and everything, every solution, right from, your energy management to waste management and etc. So we are in OrbitEdge, we are basically removing the geographical location limits, network latency. We are increasing the security through space-based decentralization. I'm just highlighting the key point. If I start explaining this one in one, all the things which we are, uh, implementing this, it will take a huge amount of time. So uh, we are also increasing the security. We are also expanding the, transaction speed. We are basically reducing the energy efficiency by space-based solar power for processing the transaction. Interplanetary blockchain systems, that's world first. Data synchronization across the globe with no time by inter satellite to satellite communication, which is another one of our patented solution going to be implemented. It will also include, so in blockchain, we haven't seen much of an IoT integration. In AI recently become popular, AI integration is also not there, right? So in OrbitEdge, we have the AI, as I mentioned about the Orbit nodes, and also the quantum is one of a threat to decoding your, private key, because quantum processing is way faster than any existing, decryption processing available on normal computers, right? So we, how we will make sure that, when the quantum system will be there down the line 5 years, how this will become a quantum proof. So we will be implementing the quantum proofing algorithm as well. Global inclusivity and accessibility would be the part of it, and also it will have a practical, or you can say the real world asset, as a native concept of a consensus algorithm. It also will have, as I mentioned, like set to set communication, so decentralization of internet service, global finance inclusion. All this would be the part of OrbitEdge. And that's how this OrbitEdge wallet will be your father or mother or teacher, where you can go and ask the question and then it solve the problem for you. And obviously it used AI as well, so to give you more satisfactory and, you know cognitive level of answers uh, to the problems.
That's really awesome. It's good to hear that the wallet is working as a guardian for us, and with the help of AI, it will be more effective and efficient for the users. So, thank you so much for highlighting the key points, Mr. Dhanraj. Okay, other than this, Orbit Core, I got to know that the Orbit Core leverage LLM powered financial intelligence. So, how does like it help traders and even the institutions make better decisions?
Okay, perfect. Because in my previous question, I talked about AI and how AI. So that's very good question for the audience to understand that how blockchain and AI got integrated. Because AI is again another new buzzword we have seen. Okay, though AI was there in 1969, I have worked in AI in 1998 for text to voice and voice to text comparison, and even though before the Google voice to text was innovated. Uh, and we have used a huge library of C programming language at that point of time. So, how LLM and blockchain can integrate, right? First thing, the transactions are basically protocol level, and those protocol are basically tightly coupled with the token. Okay, and token prediction of the share market prediction, data prediction, rain forecast prediction. All those are obviously the curiosity of the developer or innovator across the time from 90s to till 2025. Right now what I have seen, now we are seeking that how blockchain can manage this decentralized finance. Managing finance is one part, decentralized, and also when the different CBDCs are built on different platform, the predictive analysis would be definitely different because it depends on multi. So far finances are depend on your your var state, or your you know um, organization, your innovation of the state, country, geographical location, and what are all the facilities you are providing to the society, right? Right from the matchbox to missile, everything that define the economy of a particular country or state or village or your home, right? What you, let's say if you got a job, your family has financial problem, you solve that financial problem, right? So I'm just giving one example out of it. So all this together, if we are processing, let's say we are talking about RWS coming, right? So your house, your car, your precious metals, assets, all would be listed on blockchain. Now, okay, before answering this, I'm just giving an example. Earlier, we used to have a manual calculator. Now we have an mobile calculator and voice enabled calculator as well. It's the technology innovation always keep in mind that how we can solve the human problem or how we can easily solve the human complex problems. So this OrbitEdge is built on chain for models to derive the market intelligence at a protocol level, liquidity flow, pricing pattern, macro indicators, institutional grade compliance data, company performance, ESG scores, your innovation, your education, your DeFi, your gaming habits, all those would be on chain, and AI will assess those patterns to analyze and give you more and more translated predictive analytics for anomaly, strategy, best practices to be followed within your ecosystem. So it means like it also give you the audits, it also give you the risk scoring, it also give you the compliance reporting, right? All those data which is required for any transaction to be processed, like native blockchain native data, that we are leveraging, taking an help of LLMs to be implemented in our chain.
All right. Thank you so much for break that down so clearly for our audience. And I believe the AI and blockchain is such a powerful combination. I see like how Orbit Care could like become an essential tool for both like FTT traders and even the big institution as well. Okay, beside that, another important feature that is about the Orbit Pro that focusing on like custody grade tool for institution, right? So how does like it solve compliance and regulatory challenges?
Okay, so basically it will be, um, you know, let's say if we are talking about decentralized forex exchange, right? How the chain token is interacted with the fiat currency. There's a bridge we have to create, right? Or we have an exchange part of it, right? So we are basically focusing on or aiming on decentralized exchange, which revolutionize the global currency trading landscape. We are also, uh, what you can say, tagging or pairing all those uh, assets with the DeFi system. What basically it needs the high transaction again, as I mentioned. Second, asset inclusivity, right? Like your finance part, or your custody, if you talk about, right? So if you have a liquidation pool, you can definitely make it more programmable, and you can. And somebody was asking me like how a program can make money, right? So we have seen that program can make money by making a voice call, right? Instead of hiring a person who has a limitation of answering maximum one call at a time, right? If I am building an AI machine which can answer certain basic questions, so that definitely improve. Similarly, we have added in Orbit Pro, we have added a custody grid tool which identify the assets information with multiple assets, and then it basically include that into the compliances. It also identify the risk for those custody grid tools or custodies, or let's say assets, and also see the market values. All this together, that basically combined into one Arbit Pro, that not only provide an auditable transaction layer, but it also satisfy different geographical regulations, because so far in the blockchain industry there's no regularization like fiat currency regularization available as of today, right? India is still updating the policy for crypto regularization. So all this, I mean, we haven't seen that kind of solution which CBDC itself can implement or any central bank can implement. So we are trying to build the system in, internally or natively implemented with all those frameworks, compliances, to make sure that this is basically solve this. Probably I would say like this can 80% this can solve the regulatory challenges which are there in the market.
That's really good to know. That will, like, um, help in, like in a large quantity. So thank you so much for clarification. And beside that, what's your plan, Mr. Dhanraj? Like, how do you plan to onboard both like developer and even the non-technical user into the OrbitEdge ecosystem?
Okay, perfect. So as I mentioned, because arbitrage basically will have a huge amount of, are opening a huge amount of use cases, because it's going to become a launchpad for each and every upcoming emerging technologies, right? Including AI and RWA marketplace, and then your CBDC system. So definitely we are for the developers. So basically there are two type of category of users in the world, right? One is an IT engineer who develop the application, for the non-IT person who's basically just want to use the feature. So for the developer, definitely we are going to provide the SDK, modular runtimes, pre-built like DeFi, Nifty, AI modules, which allow team to deploy the dApps, sophisticated or complex apps rapidly, and also offering the testnet incentives programs for bootstrapping or experimenting, and then they can really feel the difference and how to interact with the different system, so that they can build better or futuristic applications. Orbit wallet will be used for non-technical users to perform or interact with the orbited chain via the SDK. If they want pre-built solution which is Arbitrum going to provide, they can directly use it. Or if anyone build an app or any application on OrbitEdge chain, they can use wallet to do a transaction. That wallet will not only with like a normal MetaMask or Trust Wallet or Binance Wallet, it will also have a DeFi protocol or cross-border payment system integration with futuristic. I would say futuristic because CBDC has not completely implemented anywhere, but yes, it will automatically or seamlessly will be integrated with CBDC. So both at the cognitive and technical barriers, or technical user barriers would be solved via SDK, wallet, and these dApps or native dApps which we will be launching on our platform. And also it will merge the or it will reduce the gap between Web 2 and Web 3 users for by providing better uh, interfaces to integrate with Web 2 application and Web 3 application.
That's really awesome. That will definitely going to bridge the gap between the two spaces, and that's really sound perfect. It really sounds that the Orbit ad seems to have like thought about both side of the spectrum. So kudos to the team behind it. Okay, talking about the interoperability, like multi-chain interoperability is highlighted as the key feature, right? So, how is the OrbitEdge preparing to seamlessly connect with blockchain like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and others chain as well?
Perfect question, because that's the need of any uh, enterprise level business to adopt any blockchain, right? So for this, I always try to give a very simple answer that consider there are multilingual people sitting in one room, right? One speak French, one or natively, okay? They don't know any other language. One speak German, Japanese, Hindi in India, English, or Russian or Chinese. Now they want to communicate with each other, which is interoperability, right? They want to interact with each other. They cannot, and they are not allowed to use any sign, right? Because sign is also one of a language. So they never would be able to communicate, or even though they try to communicate, they try to explain things in their way. There are some common words if French and German have a lot of common words. They can understand, but not the whole context. So we will be using a dynamicity over here where we can have our interpreter, or we will be using a common language, right? There are two solutions. One, you can, you know, use a common language where each and everyone can understand, or you can have an interpreter which convert all into your language and for each one of it. So there is a light client verification which ensure the OrbitEdge node to validate the external chain states and the transaction consensus. Second, messaging protocol of OrbitEdge is enabled with dApps to coordinate across the ecosystem. And third one is liquidity unification, which allow asset from different chain to settle into OrbitEdge standards without fragmentation. That basically position OrbitEdge as neutral interoperability hub. That's a new name come into my mind as of now. So yeah, it would be a neutral interoperability hub where any blockchain are welcome to connect with OrbitEdge, and connecting with fragmented ecosystem into one cohesive liquidity and data fabric ecosystem. It will basically become a web, right? Yeah.
Wow, beautifully put, Mr. Dhanraj. Thank you so much for that. And 100%, because like interoperability really is the future, and it's really exciting to know that the Orbit Edge is already laying the groundwork for the multi-chain world instead of like being the siloed. Okay, now talking about the community side of thing, what role will community play during the governance? Like, how will Orbit DAO empower token holder?
Wow, that's again very good question. Thank you for asking this. Okay, so the when we talk about the DAO and community, right, we always think of a voting, right? But community, the organization is not always about voting only or governance specific, right? One ruler is ruling the world, right? That's or the state or country or whatever, right? That's not the case. The two democratic, or when we say decentralized autonomous organization, it has to be autonomous and it has to be decentralized all same at the same time. And also, what about the uh, what I was saying, sorry, democracy, right, where four people are sitting, and that's what the consensus says. Everyone sitting on the table, or everyone who's basically being participated in that particular transaction, has to be on a single consensus, right? Has to agree on all the points. So how this does that DAO without a democracy is possible? I haven't got that answer so far in any of the DAO for that matter, which have been implemented so far. So that Arbit DAO is structured to go beyond the symbolic voting, and its governance basically integrates the quadratic voting to reduce the well dominance, right? Because anyone to disagree, that well dominance is the biggest factor. Delegate AI advisory, where AI model basically try to summarize the problem statement and then put it in a way that everyone is basically have a clear picture, because lot of time of disagreement or negativity is depend on how you put a problem or how you put up a question in front of a person who is always thinking of a negativity, right? So that's what lot of DAO has failed, right? Summarize proposal, risk, trade-offs, etc., etc. So that's what the AI integrated with blockchain is needed for DAO type of thing. And also executable governance means approved proposals which is implemented on chain without off chain delays. These three key points in our Orbit DAO framework ensure that the token holders are not just the spectators, they have become the co-architect of the protocol. They feel that they are part of the system, and it basically, what you can say, okay, I don't want to become again Abraham Lincoln or Nelson Mandela, but yeah, it is basically shaping its evolution at real time by the chain consensus itself. Yeah.
Okay, that's really powerful, and by that we got to know that like DAO lets ecosystem always feel like more alive and engaged and more secure as well. So good to hear about it, and I think we covered most of the detail of the project by like covering all the different dimensions or the different component of the project. So it's time to like wrapping up. So my last question is for you, Mr. Dhanraj. Like, what message would you like to leave with early supporter of like OrbitEdge as they like join on this journey early?
Okay. My message is very simple, and a message has to be very short, right? I mean, that should be remembered across the timeline of your lifetime. Engage deeply, build boldly, and govern responsibly. That's it. So basically, I mean to say that early support of arbitrage are not investors, they are thought builder who support, I mean, who support and given us a direction, or who help designing this whole ecosystem with their problems, their experiences, and their, you know, as I have given the example of family, you know, teacher, AI, etc. They they think thorough. So they are from each and every category. Let's say if I'm trying to build a Tata group, they have thought, so Dr. Mr. Jamshid Tata have thought through that what an household required from A to Z. They build every each and everything from salt to spacecraft. Uh, all those things have been provided by the early investors. Definitely, we require the support from the developers. So that's what I said. Engage deeply, build boldly, and third one is govern responsibly. Means the DAO ecosystem. The last question, second last question, was basically based on that solution itself. That trust is key factor of blockchain, but self-sustaining economy where trust, intelligence, and value flow seamlessly have not been seen in the blockchain world or blockchain industry. So we are just trying to bridge or fill that gap, and that's what I think. Like, if we all this ecosystem development community and governance community will come together, we can really shape not the next step or epoch protocol, but the next era of the digital economy and digital ecosystem itself.
All right, that's a beautifully put closing statement. Thank you so much for that. That's a fantastic line. And I think we covered most of the detail of the project. First of all, thank you so much to you, Mr. Dhanraj, for such a great insight about the arbitrage. And thank you so much for your valuable time as well. And the crypto arena community, thank you so much for joining us today, guys. If you have any question regarding the project, don't worry, feel free to drop this question on their community manager or their lead member will definitely going to guide you. And we recorded this session actually. So if you missed out any part during this session, don't worry, you can recheck it on our Binance handle. And beside that, please don't forget to join all the social channels. You will get further update regarding the project over there. And yes, see you next time. And thank you so much once again, Mr. Dhanraj. Yeah.
Thanks, Lovely. Thanks for your time, and audience. a very, you know, key part for asking the right question. If they don't have any question, means like, they are either not able, I'm not able to explain that. So please excuse me if I miss out something, or if you are not clear on something. Feel free to ask anything and any point of time. So
For
yeah,
sure.
see you on other side sometime soon.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Dhanraj. We will definitely going to reach out to you for further update. And till then, all the very best from our side to whole the team. And yeah, we'll see you next time with another great update about the project. Yeah, bye bye.
Sure. Thank you. Bye bye.
Weekend. Yeah.
Good day.